Hi guys and welcome to a new video. For this one I'm drawing another Patreon gift. This is for Sayu, who you may remember requested a picture of her character Lily a little while back. I will put that link up in the top right corner if you'd like to see that if you missed it. And for this one Sayu actually requested a picture of my original character Cinnamon, and the only specific detail for this one was that she wanted him to look cute and to be blushing. And so I thought about it for a little while and then I came up with the perfect scenario for this picture. So for those who are new subscribers and might not have seen Cinnamon before, he is an alien in my space opera story and he works as a shuttle pilot. And so he does both cargo runs and passenger runs as well. And so for this specific idea, I was thinking that he'd been on a long haul journey of some kind to a planet which either had humanoid or human inhabitants. Either way, they would be a lot smaller than he is because he's about 10 feet tall. And so I had this idea in mind that these inhabitants of this planet had children who were less sort of affected by the dislike that a lot of races have towards Cinnamon's race. And so Cinnamon's race are called the Arinthi. They are very, very tall. They have 4 arms, 5 eyes. They are one of the latest to join the Galactic Alliance in the story, which has meant that a lot of other races kind of look towards them with distrust because they kind of suspect and they want to know what their reasons are for taking that long to join. But it's nothing to do with plotting anything against the other races, it's just that they didn't think it was beneficial to them to join the alliance because they thought that they would be losing more than they gained, but in the end they eventually joined. And also they're not a race that likes war, and so they were concerned that they would be dragged into wars that they didn't want if they joined. But anyway, they got there in the end, and so there's still a lot of misunderstanding between the Arinthi and other races, so a lot of people have a natural dislike towards them. But I was kind of thinking that maybe some kids would have not been affected by those feelings towards Cinnamon's race, and so when they meet him they're not frightened or concerned or angry or anything. They're just kind of fascinated by him if they haven't seen one of his kind before. And so because he's so big, I was imagining that they might kind of use him as a climbing frame and climb all over his arms and back and everything. And so they would decorate him with flowers because he's got very long hair and a mane, and they would just think that, well, obviously that long hair needs to be decorated with something. And so that was the idea I had, that these kids would have decided he needed to be made into a lovely princess with all these flowers. And Cinnamon he kind of has a lot of innocence in him himself. He does like children, he's kind of childlike in his own way. And so I think he wouldn't have the heart to take the flowers out. So the idea here is that he has returned to his home planet of Ethrin. He's got back to the shuttle port, and so that's what you can see me add towards the background is some details from the shuttle port. But he's got back, and this is the moment that he walks into the shuttle port and he sees his friends waiting for him, and he kind of lifts up this garland of flowers he's got around his neck and just says, "A little help here, guys," because he can't actually get them off. As you can see, Cinnamon has very big hands because of just the development of his race. They originally evolved as a burrowing race, and so they're good at mining and digging without needing any tools. And so he's got really big hands, and someone pointed out to me a while back that his hands were so big he wouldn't actually be able to do up the fastenings on his clothes, so I had to make some adjustments to the designs of his clothes so he could actually put them on himself. And I do appreciate when people point things out like that to me, because otherwise I just probably wouldn't think about it. There's some details I just manage to completely overlook when I'm doing character designs, and so just always point out to me if I've done something stupid. So yes, I then thought, well, if his hands are too big to deal with dexterous things like little fastenings on his clothes, if somebody braided his hair, would he be able to undo it? And so I thought back to some artwork I've done of him previously where he has braids in his hair, and I thought maybe he can't, maybe he got someone else to do it for him. Like usually he just puts his hair back in a big sloppy ponytail because he can do that, but he can't do anything sort of more intricate than that. And so I'm guessing now he's got back to Ethrin and now he's got to get his friends to get all these flowers out of his hair. But I think at the same time he probably wouldn't want to get rid of them because he likes them. He likes the fact that these children just naturally liked him and found him fascinating, and he likes spending time with them. And so I think it would kind of be a bittersweet moment when he finally had to take them all out. But yeah, that's the kind of storyline I had behind this picture, because originally I just thought, well, something cute and making Cinnamon blush, what would make him blush? Because he generally doesn't get really embarrassed, but I think if he got back to his home and he realised that he was kind of stuck and he needed his friends to get him back looking back in a sort of professional manner again, because he couldn't really turn up to his superiors with flowers in his hair, I think that was probably the best scenario that I thought of at the time. This piece was drawn on Daler Rowney fine grain heavyweight paper, which is something that I've been enjoying using lately. I do like it along with the mixed media paper by Daler Rowney, but I had to bear in mind with this one I can't use markers on it because it's just for paint, I believe. But it's really nice to use, and I decided to use the Kuretake Zig flexible mangaka fine liners with it as well. Unfortunately, I didn't record the process of the last drawing I did with them, which was a gift from my friend Liz of her D&D character Vin. I didn't record that one because it was just kind of an experimental piece and I didn't really know where it was going, so I didn't make a video of that, but if you'd like to see it, it's on my Instagram and Twitter and all of that. But yeah, I've been really enjoying using these pens because you can create such nice depth and dimension with them, and also with the sepia colour, which is what these are, you can create really nice subtle colour variations and it just adds such a nice touch to your drawings. And so I used those for this, and then when I coloured it I used the Cotman watercolours by Winsor & Newton. I am not a watercolour expert by any means, as you can probably tell, but I do really enjoy using them, and I did pick up some of the professional colours as well, which normally I wouldn't because I'm not up to the standard really to be using those ones, because my main set is student grade, but I was in Hobbycraft, which is a craft store in the UK, and they usually have like a big basket at the back of the shop with loads of old stock of single watercolour half pans in, and they're usually really cheap, like less than half price. And so I had a rummage through that last time I went in there and I picked up some really nice colours, and so I put those in my palette and I've been really enjoying using them because they're so vibrant. So I just had to play around with those in this, especially in the background. As you can see, I had a ton of fun doing that space backdrop. The finishing touches were done with W.H. Smith watercolour pencils, where I just added a few details with those. And then I also used just a plain silver gel pen, which I bought from The Works. I think it was like 3 for 59p. They're like the cheapest gel pens you could buy, and they're actually really good. Then the white highlights were done with the Hybrid Gel Grip by Pentel. So that's what I did the finishing touches with on that, and then I added some final colour just to brighten up the flowers with the Zig Art and Graphic Twin, which are water-based brush markers. So yeah, that's pretty much my whole process of this drawing. If you would like to see anything particular in the future, just give me a shout, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So as always, I hope to see you again very soon, and I'd like to thank you for watching. Bye!